All right, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. I have in my hand a little tube of crazy glue that I bought for something that I haven't bothered to follow through with that notion when I saw the crazy glue. But it wound up next to my mat today, and it served a really great contemplative purpose, and that is, what are we choosing to bind ourselves to? And that's a really profound non-dual tantric question, because it's not a question of whether you will bind yourself to something, even in our search for freedom. It is a choice of having enough free will that we can decide what's worthy of our interest, that we're going to donate and give that much of ourselves to. And so if you think of crazy glue, you got to have your focus, like you got to know what you're doing. You have a very short period of time to get in, get out. Otherwise you wind up with it on your fingers, and then you touch something else and now it's stuck to you, and there you go. So that's what I want to bring to this practice of, how do we place our hands on a yoga mat? And what do we, in the placement in a fixed form, what do we do with the external rotation of the upper arm, the internal rotation of the forearm? And be very clear that when you go to set your hand in a certain place, that you have a decent idea of how you're going to support yourself and bind yourself to the moment. So I invite you to close your eyes, drop into a short connection, contemplation on, what are you binding yourself to today? You chose to come to a yoga mat. For what purpose? For what end? And when you feel yourself enter that deeper conversation, allow your breath to start to weave in and thread yourself to the moment. Invite you to turn your palms out and up, so they're just not resting down on your legs, but they're out in that, oh, how wonderful kind of position. Are you just ready for whatever's coming your way? And you're like, okay, here we go. Lift up tall, get long from waistline to armpit. Feel your shoulder blades come more firmly onto your back body. And then in that connection, that deep connection to universal awareness, your back body, stay there. Keep your shoulder blades on your back as you draw hands to heart center. With hands in heart center, find your finger pads and loosen up every other part of your hand. So just all the fingers that mirror each other, the thumb to the thumb, the index to the index, middle ring and baby finger. Find your pads of the fingers. Gently press them together, bind one hand into the other. Maintain that connection, and then travel down to where the fingers meet your palm, especially the index finger and the thumb. And then roll from that medial edge of the hand so that you're on literally what I call ridge tops. And that's where that first metatarsalcarpal of the finger meets the fleshy part of your palm. And if you let the finger pads and the root of the knuckles press together, there's a space that comes into the center of the palm. It's called a hasta bandha, the energy lock of the hand. And that energy lock can then travel up through the underside of your wrist, which is really the front. And up through the elbow crease and to the inner deltoid, where you can start to squeeze right where your pectoralis muscles meet on your chest. But try to engage now the outer shoulder blade to the outer deltoid, to the pointy part of your olecranon, your elbow, and back down to the pinky finger. Let out a deep sigh. And if you hold yourself in this bonded presence of your heart being held before your heart, give yourself permission to let out a joyful sound. You might know it as Om. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Inhale. Om. Committed to the back of the heart. Open your palms, release your hands, and come to all fours on your sticky mat. And here we're going to do a little hand exercise. So look down and identify where are the creases of your wrist. Where does your wrist meet your arm? And from there, start to rock a little bit and mindfully, like you were setting down crazy glue with the palm, you're going to make sure that when you turn one hand in, that you set it down from thumb to index to middle to ring to baby finger, and then work your way out. Same pattern, so that even as you move, you're very clear that the hands, the fingers are evenly spread. Now we're going to external rotation from the upper arm. And just feel and hear the sound of your sticky mat. Internally rotating the upper arm to the elbow crease, to the forearm, to the wrist, and then pause with your hands as far in as you can get them. Look down at the creases of your wrists. Those, you might call them wrinkles, I'll call them creases. And notice how the crease next to your thumb is more profound than the crease to the baby finger. Now, as you turn the hands out, an external rotation from the upper arm to the outer elbow, to the wrist, to the baby finger, and go external rotation. And if you look down at the creases of your wrists, now you might notice that the crease of the wrist by the pinky finger is more pronounced. So now I'm going to invite you to become your own guru and turn your hands in only as far as you feel like the creases of your wrists go level from thumb to baby finger. And from there, draw your arm bones into your shoulder socket. Like you did when you had your finger pads pressing in Anjali Mudra, push your finger pads down into your sticky mat. Push the index finger and thumb knuckle down. And then as you lift your knees, reach your hips up and back and bow into the heart, downward dog. Discover Ujjayi breath. That's a sound that your breath can make by gently closing off the epiglottis and the upper throat. And deep breath. Slow inhale, coming all the way down to the knees. The hands haven't moved. They're glued to the earth, index finger and thumb. And now as you reach back, hips to heels, the back of the hand might get a little lighter, but the index finger, knuckle, the finger pads are pushing down and dragging back so much that the wrist gets light, the elbow gets higher, lighter, the armpit floats. Inner and outer deltoid, inner and outer shoulder rising evenly. Inhale forward, all fours push down through and glue the knuckle down from forward, all fours to cow. Round into cat, push down from the inside edge of your arm through the knuckle. And then reach back, tailbone to heels. Palms might get light, but the fingers stay glued. Inhale, come forward. And soften into your upper back here. So now we're going to extend left. No, let's go right leg first. Right leg first. Back behind you. Zip up your navel. Hands didn't move. Lift the right leg. Now really push down through the inside edge of your right hand and extend your left arm forward. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Crisscross that right upper thigh behind the left, so your right foot goes way to the left. Place the left palm on top of the right hand. As you bend the right knee, bow into the space between your hands, keeping the armpits light, that right hand glued. And now use the left hand to push the index knuckle down, then pull yourself forward, unwind the right leg, extend the left arm. And we're going to take this little transition where you might be tempted to let the wavering of the right hand just go on autopilot, but I'm going to invite you to think of crazy glue and commit. Breath and steady movement. And there we go. And this time as left arm comes up, pause and breathe. Now, where will you place that left hand? Exactly where you think you need to. One shot, hopefully. Kickstand the left foot. Reach back with the right arm and right leg. And take a gaze down to your left elbow crease. From the upper outer arm, externally rotate your left arm until the elbow crease lines up with your peace fingers. Externally rotate the right arm, the one that's lifted. Stretch it up. Now from the left shoulder, push down through that left hand, especially index finger and thumb, and arc yourself up. Right arm comes to a high V, and then internally rotate from the root of the shoulder until your palm faces away from your heart. Yeah. I know, Julia, not a normal instruction. Now, inhale and fill up that left kidney, push through the left hand, and bring the right hand all the way down, and it should just place itself right where it needs to go. Inhale, left leg back. Lift the left leg. Reach down through the index left finger more, literally push it down from finger pad to index knuckle, and then extend the right arm. Deep full breath. As you cross left leg to the right, set that right hand on top of left, bow in, exhale. Use the inhale to root down and rise up. And the exhale to flow it over. And now your pace, your mindfulness, what are you binding yourself to? Breath and movement. And a stabilizing periphery and moving from the core. And last one. And if you can do this kind of isometric exercise with your hand, then guess what? You'll be able to open a pickle jar when you're 95. Lower the right hand, kickstand the right leg, sweep yourself open, and a big external rotation, left upper arm, right upper arm. Root down from your hips through your legs, stretch, 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 reach through that right index finger and thumb like you wanted to push the floor away, and then reach up, up, up. When that left arm comes to the high V, internally rotate until the palm turns away from you. And now squeeze that outer left shoulder blade down into your hips. Inhale, inflate the right kidney to bring left hand to the earth. Reach back, extended child's pose. And Ashtangasana. Pull the heart forward, let the elbows go wide, skim the earth with your heart, and then push down through index fingers to come to cow. Round up cat, hips to heels. Inhale. As you squeeze the shoulder blades on your back, let the elbows go wide, keep the upper arm bones lifted, press down through index finger and thumb, and keep that action as you round into the heart, hips to heels. And pull forward. And lift up. Index fingers, thumbs. Tuck your toes. Inhale forward, all fours. Arm bones into shoulders. Lift your knees, keeping the knees bent. Try this. Push the hands down and energetically try to pull the hands backward, but they're glued down. So that action will actually lift your armpits up and squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back more. Then from the shoulder blades, push through the hands to lengthen your spine. Downward dog. Feet together. Inhale, left leg high. Inhale, plank. Left leg meets right. Bend the knees. Push the hips back, dog. Inhale, right leg high. Deep exhale. Inhale, plank. Active hands. Bend your knees. Root down, rise up, dog. Inhale, left. Exhale. Inhale, plank. Exhale, back to dog. Inhale, right leg. Deep exhale. Hold a plank with in-breath. And lower the knees. And child's pose. Back of the wrists light, elbows lifted, upper arm bones. Last week we worked a drill where we took the arms in the overhead plane like they are now, and we used a block, and we pushed the wrist into the block to get seesaw principle. When you root one part of the bone down, another part of the body can rise. So finger pads rooting, wrists lifting, elbows lifting, armpits lifting. Maintain that lift as you come to forward onto the hands. Lift up to dog. And think about that here. Pushing the hands down and away. Keep the elbows and the armpits high. Please walk your feet forward, standing forward fold. Hold each wrist right over your head. So I didn't say elbows, I said hold your wrists. Hold your wrists. And then bend your knees as much as you need to so that you can free up your lower back and your breath. Now gently give a tug on your wrists until you feel your shoulder blades become stronger on your back. Your collarbones wider, like a smile. And from there, keep the knees bent, root your tailbone, keep a hold of the wrist, and lift up in a bind in Utkatasana. Give a little tug on the wrist, free up the base of your neck, arc it over to your right. And as you do that, can you think about drawing your outer left shoulder blade into the heart? Inhale, center. And as you go left, try to squeeze that outer right shoulder blade into your heart. Inhale, center. Lift up, stretch up. As the arms open wide, wrap your arms around your body. Get a nice big hug right here. Active feet, steady shins. Upper thighs back, tailbone roots, zip up your navel. And we're going to twist just your upper body. So stabilize below the navel and twist above the navel. Now take your elbows towards the outer pointy hip. And then from your thoracic spine, arc it over to the right. Trust the earth. Roll right behind the heart, up and over left. Twist the elbows left, stabilizing below the navel. Round it back to center. Deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, arms go wide, fold forward. Inner body bright, side body's long, lengthen. Where do your hands go? Mindfully root them and step to plank. Folding plank, deepen your breath. Now, if you need your knees down for Vashisthasana, you'll take the knees down and go modified like that. Otherwise, we're turning all 10 toes to your right. You can stack your feet or line up heel to toe. Figure out that that left arm is going to be the one that you're binding to for stability, and pull that shoulder blade deeply into the heart. Stretch right arm back towards your hip. Palm up, thumb up. Deep breath. Now keep reaching through the left arm as you stretch the right arm high. And when you come to a high V, internally spiral so that outer shoulder blade squeezes on the back, and the thumb turns down, palm forward. Look to the center of your sticky mat. Inhale, right hand right where it goes. Turn the feet left. Plug that left shoulder, right shoulder onto your back, and open up, throat back, ears back. Left thumb up, shoulder blade on the back. Reach more through right index finger and thumb as you stretch left arm up. When you get to the high V, trust it. Internally spiral and bring it down. Right where you know it goes, seat to the right. And here we go, like we're swimming through love. And speed it up. And left. And right. And left. One more time each side. Your breath, your pace. Awesome. Dog pose is a rest pose. Bend the knees, find your heart, deepen your breath. Inhale, plank. Knees, chest, chin. Now to get to cobra, keep the inner thighs strong. Once the hips get to the floor, that means cobra. Hips are on the floor for cobra. Push down through the index finger and thumb, pull the hands back to lift the heart. And if your heart, your upper back is open enough, you could draw the elbow creases so they face the same direction as the heart, and you can extend the arms any amount. The hips stay on the floor. It's not an up dog. And lower down. If your back says you have to stay down here, the elbows go wide, shoulder blades squeeze in, and see where your heart space can go. You're gonna rise up, you're gonna stay low. And one more time. Push the hands down. It says if you wanted to turn the hands, but they're glued to the sticky mat, and that action externally rotates the upper arms, but the strength of the index finger and thumb keeps the forearm rolling inward. Lift up, push to index finger, and child's pose. Walk your knees forward towards your wrists. Have a seat. I do recommend sitting up on a blanket. Getting your hips a little higher than your knees. Catch the knees, pull the knees in. Open your feet. Reach underneath your left leg, and from the inside seam of the inner thigh, extend that leg down. Pull the right foot in, shoelace side of the foot down. And a deep breath, sit up tall by pushing through the heel and the whole surface of your right leg, your shin, your toes. Maybe you need your hands behind you so you find curve in your lumbar spine. Keeping the curve of the lumbar spine, firm the belly in, and walk that left hand just a little to the left. Look down. So now we've taken arm and side plane, which means the elbow crease, That's kind of your guiding light here. It needs to turn from the root of the shoulder, the upper arm, out until the elbow crease lines up in the same direction that the crown of the head is pointing. Right arm out, thumb up. Push through the heel, left heel, push down through your shoelace side of the right foot, and drag that left hand back towards you so the armpit grows. Deep breath in. Now root through the hips, arms in the side plane, both of them. Get up to that high V. Internally spiral from the outer upper arm. Turn that arm in, and then reach it alongside the ears. You pull your shoulder blade towards your pelvis. Reach the arms through the fingers. Nice deep breath through that whole right side. Use your core. Inhale, rise up. Deep breath in. Feet right in front. Extend right leg. Pull the left leg in. And sit up and down. Find lumbar curve. Extend right hand. Push the finger pads down. Externally rotate the arm bone. The most important finger for me is this index finger, because when I externally rotate, I'm still pushing the forearm in. You've got 18 muscles in your forearm, and those muscles need to line up with the upper arm. The forearm is very free to move. Bind it to the upper arm in union. And as you stretch, push down through the index finger, thumb, all 5 fingertips really, and then pull the armpit long as you reach up. Find that high V and then internally spiral. And reach the shoulder blade towards the pelvis as the arm extends out of the glenohumeral joint. Deep breath in. Long, loving breath out. Inhale to rise. Catch the legs. Sukhasana. Starting with the palms down on your legs, close your eyes. With the eyes closed, go in and sit up as tall as you can from feeling your inner body. Binding yourself to gravity, root your hips down. Opening up to free will, lift your heart out of the strength of the hips. Press your crown towards the sky. Without moving your hands, externally rotate your upper arm bones. Shoulder blades on your back. From the external rotation of the upper arms, turn the forearms up, palms up. Notice there's some cooler air on the palm of your hands. If your mind can focus on what your hands are doing, you will be in parasympathetic nervous system dominance, rest, relaxation, digestion, healing. So maybe all the details of the practice might have overloaded the mind today, but I promise in time, those actions will become so ingrained. The glue will have worked to the point where you can start to break the rules without grave consequence. Please draw your hands to heart center and start over. Find the finger pads. It's a Hakini mudra, really, is what it is, like a snow globe hand, but with finger pads instead of tips. And then seal the knuckles together and keep the center of the palm as if you were hiding a little chocolate treat or something good in there. Open to the fluidity of your breath. And here the fingertips gently turn away from your heart. Let the mind bow into the heart. Let the heart receive your breath. What is worth binding yourself to? Not just on the yoga mat, but in how you place yourself into your world. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Let this Om be a reminder you're connected to something so big. Your Om, your way. Om. Free will in me honors and bows to that part of you that knows how to show up for love and enlightenment and deeper self-knowing. Thank you. Namaste. All right. Well, have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.